What is up, everybody? This is Danny McGrew here. I know it's been a long time since you guys heard from me. It has officially been a year. I know I said I was going to do weekly updates, yada, yada, yada. That sounds really fun when you're not used to working in the union. You get tired, don't feel like doing it. But also, I said to myself, you know what? I plan on sticking with this. Let me wait until I've completed my first year. So I think it was yesterday that I actually completed the first year in the union. And what will I say? It's been a pretty good year. I learned a lot. Started out in HVAC. Issue is back then I was significantly heavier than I am now. I was like 70 pounds heavier than I am now. I lost a lot of weight. But so I talked with the contractor. They let me go ahead and drop the weight that I wanted to drop. And then they said they let me back on when I reached that weight. Because getting on those ladders, let me tell all the big guys out there, getting on those ladders, if you are not within that like good weight range, or you're at a weight that you're not comfortable, be prepared to be in some seriously scary situations on those ladders. When you're big like that and you're going up, especially those extension ladders, it gets a little tricky. So note to self and to everyone, take care of yourselves out there. I've made major changes to my life. I can get up and down those ladders like nothing now. It's still a little sketchy, but I'm still a big dude, but I'm not nearly as big as I was. But anyway, it was good. I learned a lot about plumbing and pipe fitting. I worked at the fab shop that I think every apprentice, when they first start, should work in a fab shop if they don't have any experience working with like pipe or anything like that. Just because it's in a controlled environment, you learn the names of the different pieces, the names of the different fittings, how to use certain tools, different things like that in a controlled environment. And it's almost like you're practicing, but you can't really mess up like that. But when you get that training period, they're more understanding. So I suggest, if you don't have any experience and don't know any names of anything, the shop is like a great place to be. Now, granted, once you learn all that, and get a little bit used to it, highly suggest getting in the field. I don't ever want to go back to the shop. Yeah, the shop can get very boring, very repetitive. Plus, when you get out in the field, you learn so much. I'm sure if anyone's looking at this video, they know people in the trade, though there's some people who might not. But either way, and they'll tell you, you're always learning in this trade, always. So I got out in the field, I got to learn a lot of different stuff. And plus, a lot of the stuff that I learned at the shop helped me in the field. So it made things quicker. I didn't have to ask as many questions. People didn't have to explain things to me as much because I learned in that environment. So now I'm out here in an uncontrolled environment, and I have at least some base knowledge to make things a little quicker and not have to have people constantly worried about, the apprentice who doesn't know anything. Also, I got to work at a hospital, UT Southwest. That was pretty cool. That was it was kind of like a retro job. Lots of drilling hangers on these ridiculously high ceilings. Like, I'm talking about using like 6-foot extenders on your hammer drill, trying to get an anchor up there, all kind of craziness. But that was fun, working on pro press, cutting copper, putting, using the snap cutters to get cast iron, different things like that. Once again, the shop helped with that. I learned how to do that, so that way, I was one of the apprentices that was a little bit ahead of other guys who were new to the field also, just because I've been in the shop and I knew different things already. So like I said, once again, even though I don't want to go back to the shop, I think it's a great start. And then lastly, this last job that I was on, it's actually been awesome. I've been working there since April, and it is at a water treatment plant. And we did a lot of underground, a lot of really big pipe trenches, working down at a river, installing pumps, lots of digging, lots of waiting for the excavator to dig. But man, let me tell you, always be willing to get in there and help. you apprentices out there that are watching this and wanting to get in here, always be willing to help. You already have one thing on your side. You're cheap. So they would like to keep the cheaper people, especially if they know what they're doing, because now you have good help for the low. So definitely always be willing to be helpful, and just show up on time. You know, some guys are sticklers about it. The place I'm at now, they're not tripping too bad about it, just because how far out it is. But for the most part, be on time, and always be willing to help. I'm telling you, me jumping in there and landing ditches with water and stuff like that, where other guys stood around and didn't want to get in because they didn't want to get dirty, stuff like that. I heard the foreman talking to the superintendent, like from outside of the Connex. I heard him saying like, "Hey, that guy's a good worker. He was out there working really hard, man. He's a really good worker." You know, that stuff will pay off. It has saved me, because me being cheap and me being a good worker has saved me all these months from layoffs. Like we started with 3 pages of people working. Now we're down to 5 people left. And guess who's still there? Me, the cheap apprentice who they say is a good worker, because I'm not afraid to get in there and do it. When you get into work, don't be picky, man. Don't show up to work thinking you're going to be pristine and clean all day. If it's something got to get dirty, just get dirty. Don't be scared. You know what field you in. Like, we see snakes and black widow spiders, wood spiders, wolf spiders like that big, wasps that big. It's like Kong Island out there. It's crazy. All kind of craziness. But hey, just show you're willing to get in there and do what it takes. Also, don't forget to pay your dues. I know it's easy over the summertime, because over the summertime you're not going to have to go to class. So it's easy to kind of fall out of that habit. You don't have people reminding you. You got to remember to pay those dues, because when August rolls around and it's time for those raises, you're going to want those raises. If you're behind on them dues, you're not going to get your raise. Also, remember to keep log of your work hours. Those are very important. But either way, everybody's going to tell you all that different stuff. But to continue, it has been an amazing journey so far. I cannot wait to finish. I have full intentions on finishing. I'm getting paid more than I've been paid in the past for pretty much every job, and I enjoy this job so much more than all of those. I have a college degree in criminal justice. I'd much rather do this. People be like, "Oh, why aren't you doing something like that?" I would way more rather do this than go back to working in the criminal justice field. I get paid more. It's more laid back as far as the people you're dealing with, and you learn things. I'm gonna tell you right now, I've already saved thousands of dollars in repairs and stuff at the house that would have, like, if I would have had to pay somebody, it would have been thousands of dollars. But since I learned how to do that, and also making connections with people, I had a leak that was so big it looked like a cartoon. It was like a geyser, water just shooting up, going crazy. I'm like, oh my goodness. Thankfully, my coworker, I reached out to him because he was right in the area. He came over, he helped me fix it. That would have cost me at least $200 just to get somebody to come out. And then it wouldn't have been immediate either. And then you have to pay for the repair. That, I knew somebody who's willing to help me, threw him $100, because he's going to come back and he's going to help me dig out and replace the entire line. You know, and I'm going to be helping him. He was the guy that I was working under at the job now. But he's at another job now. But yeah, make those connections, man. It's very important. These people will teach you a lot, and it's just good lifelong connections. This is the union, we're brotherhood. I know people laugh and joke and this and that, but really, I'm so serious. You really have to look at this like that, because, you know, if anything happens to you on this site, you have to be realistic. These are the people who are going to be there to try to make sure you're okay until like some medical help gets there. So these are going to be like your brothers. You have to have a good rapport with them. And if you look good, they look good. And if you look good, it makes them look good. They look good, it makes you look good. It makes all of us look good. It makes it easier to bargain, get paid more, get better benefits. Each one teach one. Everybody help each other. Remember that when you get in here. Please make connections and be willing to work. Don't be scared. Don't be picky. Always communicate with your journeyman. Always communicate with your superintendent if you're going to be late, and your journeyman. I say communicate with both of them just so they know. But yeah, so there's my year update, and I hope this helped anybody. If anybody has any questions, feel free to hit those comments. Um, I'm probably not gonna wait until a third year to update, because even though I said this is my first year, it's my first year in the union, but I just finished, like, because I started out as a second year, so I'm starting this semester as a third year, but it's actually going to be my second year being in the union. You'll understand when you get in if you choose to take that path. But yeah, it's been fun. I'll shoot an update at some point in the future before 2024. I'll get you a nice update. For everybody out there, prepare yourself in math. If you're waiting to get in and you're gonna have to take an entrance exam, not all places do, but some places do. Ours is about to start. Just checking your mathematical aptitude, I guess. Learn how to convert fractions into decimals and add and subtract and this and that, and then convert them back into fractions. It makes it kind of easy. But these are things you're gonna need to know. So brush up on things like that, on converting from fraction to decimal and back into fraction, and multiplying and subtracting, adding, dividing, all that. Work on all that. So, all right, I'm done rambling. I'm tired. It's been a long day. This is Texas. It's been 105 degrees every day, back to back to back to back, and sometimes 110. So, yeah, I'm about to go to bed. I'm tired. It's been hot. You guys have a good one. Good luck to everybody out there.